Ladies and gentlemen of the beautiful crypto world, today is a pretty crazy day for crypto coins, with Bitcoin again getting rejected at $70,000, marking the continuation of this slight downtrend on the longer term, again basing it on a weekly chart. Then again, my personal buys have been hit, as I was telling you guys earlier. Right here at roughly 63 point something thousand dollars is exactly where I expected things to fall down to, but not further. And if we do actually manage to go down further from here, I don't want to say I'm worried, but I will tell you that my earlier theory of things will get worse before they get better is very likely into effect at that point. But again, if you did not fill up your positions at this level right here, I don't know what you're doing. Because again, there were two major levels to watch, which was first of all, this breakthrough point here at roughly 66,000. And second of all, like I established a few days ago, at 64,000-ish right here. Again, we've rejected at, or we've gotten rejected at that level multiple times in the past, right here yet again. And this is just one of the simplest trading setups you can go for to sell at previous bottoms. I'm saying sell, I meant buy at previous bottoms, obviously, because again, it has a high probability of bouncing off of those levels, and right now it did. We're not completely in the clear. Yes, we're up like 2.5% or so, which with leverage could have been a really juicy trade. But if you were in a trade from slightly longer, for example, you were buying all the way throughout this entire, let me quickly draw it here, this entire period right here, you might currently here not be in profit. But again, the idea is to get that swing back upwards, potentially think about selling once we get back to the trend line, but mostly just looking out for when we're going to reach this higher top that we've been waiting for a long time. And for that reason, I've not exited my trades, even though, like I said earlier, I should have sold more when we got to $70,000, just because again, it looked like a pretty logical top from almost any angle. But here's the kicker. I still believe in our longer term strategy. There's nothing that really changed. And I still do believe that from almost any different theory, it just makes too much sense, as long as not everything just switches up right here, because again, there's a possibility for that. But as long as this remains clear and the breaks towards the downside don't occur, meaning the RSI flips, the MACD flips, and Bitcoin again on this slightly longer time frame makes a new lower low here, which can happen, but I'm not expecting it to happen here in the near term. If all those don't happen, things are pretty bullish as of this point. Anyway, PlanB also just posted, and I think it was quite interesting because his theory says that from here on forward, things are about to get really crazy. Or to be more specific, the model states that with Bitcoin's July closing price of $64.6 thousand, we're on course for, again, a meteoric rise in the short term, and the short term here being multiple months still. People don't understand that when you say short term, it's not like 5 minutes. It's mostly just a few weeks in comparison to the strategy of, like, for example, a 21-year period like we were discussing before. Again, Bitcoin, $20 million in 20 years is interesting, but it's not as interesting as talking about where it's going to be over the next few weeks or this specific run. And I personally think that within like 3 months or so is pretty short term. And honestly, just following this model, if you look back at the history, if you were able to purchase in the dark blue areas, it would have been basically exactly where things started to pop off, or even a dark red. Right? This is literally the point where things start to go and spiral out of control. And again, that's just basing it on the history and how things have performed. And I personally think if you just hold on to this dearly, yes, it might be skewed by a few months. No, it will not be perfect, this model. But again, it's just the idea of, and I tell this to everybody that doubts Bitcoin, right? I tell it like this. Do you believe that the Bitcoin price at some point will be higher than it is today? If that answer is yes, then buy. If that answer is no, then show me your short with such an unholy amount of money, because you'll become a billionaire. I'm not joking. If you right now are sure that Bitcoin will never go higher than it is today, I do believe there's a very high probability that you'll be a billionaire by shorting it with everything that you've got. And if you do not have a lot, keep borrowing from everybody, because if you're so certain, you'll be one of the richest people on this earth. Most people are not that certain it will go to zero. They just kind of hope or think, but to be certain that it will go and you're convinced, most people don't want to put their money on it. On the short term, yes, it will go down a little bit, but to actual zero, most people are all talk. It's not that many people that have got everything set on the fact, and again, there's a difference between going to zero straight away or going higher first before eventually collapsing. So there again comes your point of, do you really think that right now today was the highest price we will ever still see? I don't think so, and I don't think there's any chance that that's the case. And for that reason, I always like to open more long positions, because I just do not believe we'll only go down from here forever. And if it's a few months, I'll cope, I'll be fine. But for most models I've shown you just now, it just seems like the bounce is due. It just seems like we are about to super cycle. Yes, there's a little bit of delay that's possible, maybe even a few months. But really, from almost any single angle that I've shown you throughout the last few months, it's about to go out. There's no other theory that I can accept. Again, every single model from 10 years ago till now has said the same thing. Why would things all of a sudden change? Oh, but the ETFs have joined. Oh, but the institutions are wrecking everything. They've only gotten inflows, really, because most of them have a longer-term strategy of where's it going to go over the next 5 years, 10 years, or whatnot. Most of these guys do not want to sell on the really short term because it's not worth all the hassle for them. They're investing, like Larry Fink said, as a new asset class to kind of hedge against their other investments, kind of like they did with gold. So it doesn't make sense for there to be crazy outflows, or from another perspective, from the inflows now to stop, as Larry Fink's promotional train has just started. Ethereum ETFs have just come up, but like with the Ethereum ETFs, the start was kind of bad. A lot of outflows, a lot of negative price action, but a few weeks afterwards, things started to pop off. Perhaps that's what we're seeing here too. People speculating on the Trump news, people speculating on the FOMC meeting. But from there on forward, again, over the next few weeks, we're going to see that relief rally again. We're going to see the pump starting to come back as the speculators are thrown out. Just want to quickly make that video on my thoughts. Again, I'm still with the long positions. I still think things are getting really, really juicy here at this level. Yeah, let me know down below if you're able to take this trade. Again, it does not mean you sold everything and were only able to buy there. I'm just meaning that you were able to buy some coins at this level. If not, no worries, because relatively we're still quite low at 64.5K for, again, a slightly longer term. We don't know where we're going to be tomorrow, but we know where we're going to be over the next few months. And with trading, that's enough. But again, if you want to trade also, check out the link down below to Bybit. It's the exchange I personally use. You can also get yourself like a $500 free trade. That's about it.